Suzanne, also known as Auntie Tuttie. Welcome to my little crafty corner of the YouTube. It's been a while since my previous episode. If you're returning from my previous episodes, thank you. If you are returning, you might also notice my sassy sidekick is missing. Unfortunately, last June we unexpectedly lost Bailey, my little French bulldog. It was a bit of a shock, and it happened so fast, so it did kind of throw me for a loop. Yeah. I've also had some health issues. I have ME, and I can't say the big word, also known as chronic fatigue syndrome. Tail end of last year, I was struggling with my energy levels and pacing and doing a lot of sleeping when I wasn't at work. And then I started to feel all right, and then end of April I had a severe crash. Yeah, so I've had it for the last 17 years, and I've basically been mild with it. Obviously because I managed to work full time and stuff, but I've always been conscious that it could get worse, could severe, could end up housebound, could end up bedridden like some people with it have. So this has been a bit of a surprise for the last few months, having to struggle through this and try and get myself back up and going again. I was kind of hoping to return to work this week, but I had another minor crash last week. But I am feeling better. I'm managing to go a few days without having to go for naps and stuff again. So hopefully in another couple of weeks I'll be able to phase back into work. But fingers crossed. I have obviously done loads of knitting projects in the last year. I'm not going to show you them all. If you're really interested, they'll be on my Ravelry page. I'll have all the links to everything down below, just in case I forget to mention anything when you're interested. What am I wearing? This is my Athenaeum tee by Kelly Menzies, also known as Row and Cage here on YouTube. I love the fit of this tee. It's so comfortable to wear. The only modification I made on this is I made the arms about 8 rows longer because they're sitting up here, and I just prefer a longer sleeve. The yarn is Giddy Yarns in the colorway EO Loses a Tail. I think it's a merino bamboo blend, but it's a lovely drape, and as I said, I absolutely love it. So it gets worn quite a bit. I finished it earlier in the year before my crash. I was going to show you my Skyline Tee, but I couldn't find it this morning. I did finish it last month, so I'll stick a picture up of it up here with all the details. I'm really gutted I couldn't find it. I know I've seen it. I saw it yesterday, but I have no idea where it is this morning. So that pattern is by Tori Yu, and the yarns I used for the tee was from Truly Hooked. It was her 2025 Christmas Eve box in the Cozy Vibe colorway, and I also had some Plum Fairy, which I used. So the tee has 3 colors, so I've got the neck and the hem on the sleeves in one color, another color for the saddle, shoulder, and then the Fairy Plum for the body. The only modification I made on that was I made it a lot longer than what the pattern required, because it was sitting up here on me, and I really don't like cropped tees. I'm not built for them. So yeah, so that was the only modification. Hopefully I'll find it before the next podcast and I can wear it. The other thing I finished in June is a couple of pairs of socks. These are the Ripple socks, designed by me. So on this pair, the Ripple, you have a left and a right sock, and I've got them the wrong way around, because the Ripple only runs down the one side. This yarn is scraps from leftovers from years ago, possibly Truly Hooked, because I've got quite a bit of her yarn in my stash. So that's the first one. And then I've also done a pair with a double ripple. So the ripple runs down either side of the sock, and this is leftovers from my Skyline Tee. This is the Cozy Vibes colorway, the solid and the variegated. As I said, I have written the pattern out. It is currently with some test knitters at the moment, and they've been brilliant and giving me feedback so far. So I'm hoping to have the pattern released next month. Yeah, so I'll let you know once it's out. Those are my only finished objects. I haven't, because of my ME, I haven't really been knitting much. I'm generally a monogamous knitter. I've normally got 1-2 projects on the go, but when you see my whip pile, you'll understand the ME brain of recent. The first up is a pair of Christmas socks. Bokkie Creek did a weekly sock set for Christmas last year in their advent. So the 3 yarns, the 4 yarns came in a Christmas theme, and then they've also been doing a monthly Christmas release collection. So I've been buying the yarns. So back in March I decided, let's see how many pairs of Christmas socks I can knit before Christmas. I doubt I'll even get 12 pairs done, but we're getting there. This is the Jingle Bell Rocks colourway. As I said, I've only just finished. I finished the toes on these yesterday, so that's why my markers are still in for the length of my foot. I'm only a UK size 4, so I only have little feet. I'll get the other one cast on shortly. This is, in general, this is normally my purse project for taking around and working stuff, but it's basically taken me most of June just to do one sock because I just haven't been in the mood for knitting. So we'll get that one hopefully finished in the next few weeks. The other thing I have mainly been working on, and it did take a while because my brain just couldn't get into the pattern, is my Stormseeker tee. This is another pattern by Kelly Menzies, Row and Kids. The construction's pretty much the same as this one, but it's got, I don't know if you can see them, but like lightning bolts down in the pattern on the yoke. So I finished the sleeves last week, and I've just been working on the body, which is great because it's just mindless knitting now. The yarn is dyed by me. I've called it a storm warning. I've got a limited amount of dyes, and this is really my 3rd attempt at dyeing anything, so I think it does look stormy when I considering I only had a limited amount. So I only had blue and black really to play with, but yeah, I'm quite happy with it. And I don't know if you can see it, I'm sitting in front of the window, just hope you can see it. There's a silver sparklina through the yarn, so it kind of glitters as well. So yeah, so I'm about halfway down the body. I'm hoping to get that finished by the end of the month, if not sooner, and I can get that one off and I can wear it. As I said, if it's pretty much the same construction as this one, so it should be another one that gets worn regularly. The other thing is this blankets. If I've got them on the go, they generally in my head don't count as a whip. I don't count them because they're long term and they can last years. But I started this one last year. It's just a corner to corner with some doodles from Pacific Coast Knits, and I've just been using leftover yarns. It's all finger and weight held double, some from previous projects. It is just a small blanket. It's going to be a lap blanket, predominantly be used for when I'm working from home in the winter, and I can just throw it over my lap when it gets a bit chilly in the spare room. I am on the decreases now, so hopefully it should go pretty quick finishing it. I've been trying to work on this a couple of times a week to try and get it finished. I want it finished. I want it off the needles, because having multiple projects really confuses my brain. So as I said, normally blankets don't count in my head, but this one has been, so I want it off the needles. But again, I'm not putting any pressure on myself to get it finished. Hopefully I'll get it finished by October time, so when the winter comes in and I can use it. And the other project I've been working on is a temperature blanket. I'm turning 50 next year, and I decided to do a blanket with my birth years on it, my dates of birth. So I started it a couple of weeks ago. So all I've done is a seed stitch border, and one of the colours that won't be used predominantly through the blanket. I think only a piece, and then I've done a border on the seed stitch up the side. There's about 64 stitches, so I can't stretch it all out because I've only got a small cord, but I'm finding this a very addictive knit. I just want to knit on it all the time. I'm doing 5 rows for the minimum temperature of the day and 5 rows for the maximum temperature, and I think you can guess from the red and the pink that it's rather warm in October in South Africa. I think over 26 degrees was I picked for the red, and I think this is 25 degrees, so that's why it's in the pink. I have picked the 11 colours. So I was 16 when I left South Africa, so predominant of my life I've been living in the UK, in Scotland. So yeah, the colours will change when we get to my birthdays in Scotland. But yeah, it's kind of fun. So that was another reason why I wanted the other blanket off the needles. I'm trying to pace myself and just say do a year a week. I think when I started this I had about 66 weeks to go until my birthday, so I've got plenty of time to do it with some cushion in it, just in case there's any reason why I can't lift it, or I'm away on holiday or something and I miss a week. So yeah, busy year. Our family has grown. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know we've had a couple of additions to our family. The first one is Bokkie. Bokkie is a Western Herman tortoise, and I'll see if he'll talk to you. He likes making wee clicky noises sometimes. No, he's Bokkie. Bokkie is a nickname for a springbok, which is South Africa's national animal, and their rugby team, obviously. So we don't know whether Bokkie is a boy or a girl. You can't actually sex a tortoise until they're about 5. So we refer to him as a he, but he could be a she. So in 5 years' time, he might just decide he just wants to remain as a he. But we'll decide once we know. Yeah, I've always wanted a tortoise. When I mentioned about getting one about 5 years ago, my 12-year-old nephew Jack said to me he would look after it when I died. Thanks, Jack. And Jack still shows a lot of interest in him now. He babysits him when I have to go away for a few days and stuff like that. So yeah, so since he's going to outlive me, he will be going to my nephew eventually, but not anytime soon. He hatched in June last year, so we've decided. So he is a year old now. He came to us middle of October. He has grown about 3 centimeters in length since then, and he's put on a fair bit of weight. I didn't hibernate him over the winter because he was still too young, and he didn't meet the, I can't remember what it's called, but the wee ratio thing for hibernating. We'll see whether we hibernate him this year. If we do, we might only just hibernate him for a couple of weeks at least, but we'll see. But yeah, we decided his birthday was the 16th of June because we got him on the 16th of October and he was 4 months old. And then I realised 16th of June was the day Bailey went over the Rainbow Bridge. I did think about changing it, but that's his connection to Bailey. Other than the fact I am convinced this is Bailey reincarnated. You might think I'm crazy, but the stink eye of this little guy is unbelievable. Missy's over there. Yeah, he's definitely taken over a stink eye. Day one, he walked straight into my hand, and when he is in my hand, as you can see, he just kind of chills out. He doesn't try to get away. He doesn't hide, and he's quite cheeky. He did come with a little starter house, which he was in up until June there, and then my sister bought him a big box. If you're on Instagram, you'll have seen the box. It's about 3 times the size of his starter house, so he's in there quite a bit. So yeah, I'm going to take him to my parents this afternoon. We live in a flat, so we have no garden or anything. So I'm going to take him to my parents this afternoon, and let him outside for half an hour so he can get proper sunshine, because it's actually sunny here today. We're apparently in for another heat wave, although I'm not sure how 23, 25 degrees is a heat wave, but here we go. It's very humid though. I don't do humidity. But this little fella does, so he's quite happy with the temperature. The other addition to the family is Izzy, a bulldog. She's not here today. She goes to school, doggy daycare, twice a week when I'm normally in the office, and then she spends the third day with my mum and dad. So she's at doggy daycare today. She'll be gutted she's not here, because we call her Busy Izzy because she's a wee busybody. So I'm pretty sure if she was here, she'd be sitting right on my knee, being nosy. She'll be 5 next month. Yeah, 5 next month. If you've watched previously, you know I've mentioned the Paws of Hope Bulldog Rescue. I am a volunteer, although I haven't done much volunteering with my health issues recently, but they put out last October an emergency welfare foster, and I jumped at it. I'd fostered another bulldog the month before for a couple of weeks, and so I went and got Izzy, and she never left. She'd been attacked by another dog multiple times. Her neck was in a mess. Pretty bald. She was really stressed out. She wouldn't sleep for a couple of nights when we got her. Constantly pacing up and down, wanting to play constantly. I know it was stress, but she's getting there. Her neck's all healed up. She's got a couple of bald patches. She's gone white because she's brindle. She's chocolate brown. So she's got a couple of white patches now on her neck. But yeah, she's very placid, very gentle, except for Bokkie. I'm convinced she thinks he's a ball with legs because she is ball obsessed. So she doesn't get to play with Bokkie. When I'm holding him after I've been cleaning him and stuff, I do let her have a sniff at him, but I kind of hold him like that so she can't really get to him. And I've got a baby gate in the hall to stop her going out the front door. So what I normally do is I put him on one side of the gate, she's on the other gate, and I sit on the same side as him just to keep an eye on him while he's roaming around for a little while. So yeah, so that's our additions to the family. I'll stick some pictures in of Izzy, but they are part of the family and part of my Auntie Tuttie's design artwork and stuff. And Izzy is going to be the logo for my pattern when it comes out. So yeah, so that's my baby. Well, thank you for watching. Hopefully I won't take as long to do the next episode. But again, health issues and all that. And hopefully I'll find my Skyline Tee to wear it the next time so you can all see it. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!